In agricultural markets and other markets that a government may consider crucial to its economy, if there is concerns about the price within the market and there are concerns that producers may leave the market, the government may use a minimum price scheme to assure incomes within that market. So let's imagine this is the market for milk, for example. So if we have the price and quantity of milk, the demand for milk, the supply of milk, and then the equilibrium price. Now, if we were to imagine that that was 20 pence per litre, for example, the government may consider that that is too low a price to keep suppliers within the market and is concerned about the long-term viability of that market. And so what the government can do is guarantee a minimum price to the farmers concerned to say that if you produce that amount of milk, that we will buy up any surplus in the market. So I'll illustrate that now. So let's imagine that the government is going to impose a minimum price, a guaranteed minimum price of, and in this example, let's say that's 45 pence, which is significantly above. You can see what has happened. So if we draw some dotted lines down here and consider what they mean. The free market price was PE, and within that market there was an amount being demanded and supplied, and we had equilibrium, but the minimum price has pushed the market out of equilibrium. So if we consider what has happened by the imposition of the minimum price, demand has fallen and there's been a contraction of demand because obviously the price is higher, and so we can see that here, there's been a contraction of demand, but there has been an expansion of supply and supply has expanded to Q2. So there has been a higher incentive for farmers to produce milk. They know they're going to be paid 45 pence whatever is supplied to that market, and there'll be different levels of what the government will accept. Obviously that is worked out with them. But if we think about what has happened in the market here, we've got Q2 being supplied and produced in the market, but only Q1 being demanded. So what we've created in the market is a surplus of that good. So the government may well buy that up and store that. Now, obviously, for something like milk, that has a number of problems. And when we look at buffer stock schemes, we can see how, for some products, a use of minimum prices and or a buffer stock scheme is problematic, especially if the product itself is something that's going to perish. The government would have to think about storing that milk, where it's going to secure it, how it manage the release of that onto the market. And it does sometimes lead to that surplus milk just being wasted, which obviously is a misallocation of resources and brings about all sorts of efficiency arguments, opportunity cost arguments. Should the government be using public money to guarantee the minimum prices in a market when the product itself is being wasted? So there are opportunity cost issues there. But it is certainly something that has been employed as a tactic by the European Union through the Common Agricultural Policy since its inception, and can be used by individual governments as well. So that is guaranteed minimum prices.